Let's get to our game picks here, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. As the standings go right now, I am 4-4. Joe is 3-5. Hell to Miami, the victors on Saturday. I mean, I gotta throw that out.
You clown on me for taking Florida State, by the way.
I did. I can't believe I'm such an idiot. But Iowa versus Iowa State, Joe, both of us just talked about this game. Both of us taking Iowa -2.5.
Yeah, I think that I know that 2.5 isn't exactly like a super sexy hook for them to cover that spread, but I'd actually willingly take Iowa money line because I really do think that Iowa's going to win this game. I think that they're going to try and bounce back from losing in the way that they did last year, that they need to lock in. Everything that we just stated in the preview, I'm going to rock with the Hawkeyes.
I feel the same as you here. I think that Iowa is in a situation where even though I just trashed them for God knows how long, I do think they're going to be able to run the ball. I'm going to give Gronowski another week and see what this looks like before we just bail on them. But this game gets crazy, and I'm going to take the home team here when we look at it. Cy-Hawk Trophy going back to Iowa. Kansas at Missouri. Joe, both of us taking the Tigers.
Yes. As we just said there, I'm taking the advantage for what they have defensively. I really think that they're going to get after Jalen Daniels. I think that they're going to establish the run early with the advantage that they have with their offensive line. I think all of that stuff is going to contribute pretty heavily to a victory for Missouri and for them to cover and win by more than a touchdown.
For Kansas to be on the map, they got to get this one. And I thought long and hard about this one. If this one could play out really close, because I don't know what I'm going to get from Pabula, and I don't know what I'm going to ultimately get from Missouri. Then I think about Missouri's defense, and I think they will be able to stop Jalen Daniels. I'm going to take Missouri in the points too. If I were to bet this game, it's one of my better bets. I wouldn't give up the 6.5. I would go money line. I think that this one could be like I'm with you. I feel
I don't know if you're going to get great odds on that, but
I don't care. I don't care. But I'm there to win, big or small. Doesn't matter to me how I win. Regardless of all that, I'm going to take the Missouri Tigers here. Joe, let's go to game 3 here. Michigan versus Oklahoma. Both of us going with the Wolverines +5.5.
So I said in the preview, and I also said in the thumbnail of the video that Oklahoma was going to win. I've actually turned on this. I've talked to a couple people, and I kind of dug into how Oklahoma played in their first game. Their offensive line still got problems, and there's some reshuffling that's happening as well that really should be a concern. It really should be a worry. I think that there's a legit shot that Michigan can slow the game down, keep it low scoring, get some pressures. Mateer also had a couple of issues here and there in that game. I'm going to take Michigan to cover, but I think that it's totally plausible for them to win as well.
I do too. I mean, listen, like we talked about on what was it, Sunday or Monday when we broke this game down. What was my big thing that we talked about in this one? Joe, listen, I get that they blew out Illinois State or whoever the hell they played. I get all of that. They got pushed around up front at times in the run game against a very bad opponent. Like, I'm not trying to put down on the opponent that they played, but you got to be able to outrush teams like that if you're in the SEC. Why couldn't you? Why couldn't you? Oh, man.
It's a serious issue. It's kind of getting completely overlooked. Their offensive line, their run game, the lack of production there. The more that I've thought about it, the more I actually feel pretty strongly that
Mateer, for them to win, Mateer has got to be Heisman level special.
Yes, and he's got to stay off the ground. That's the biggest key.
Well, and not only that, Joe, he made some bad decisions last week. Like, he had a lot of turnovers last year. He made some bad decisions. All right. Now, and Michigan's out without their best defensive player in the first half, and I don't care. Like, they are that good in their front seven. They will get after you, brother. You better beware. That's all I'm saying here. All right. Joe, Illinois versus Duke, the only one that we differ on this week. I'm taking the Illini. You're rolling with the Blue Devils. Your thoughts?
Dude, They get the game at home, and I really strongly believe that defense for Duke is incredibly underrated. And I think that Darian Mensah is one of those special kinds of quarterbacks that can take over a game. And I think that this is going to be the spotlight for him to do so. So I'm going to take, I would straight up take Duke money line, but I'm going to take him to cover in this situation.
I'm just looking up very quickly.
Uh-oh.
Because I know that they played Elon, but I couldn't remember. Joe, they got outrushed by Elon. I thought that I was correct. They gave up 163 yards on the ground. 163. I think Brett Bielema and the boys are coming in there and they're going to roll.
I'm not worried about that.
They're going to roll, brother. They're going to run the ball. I think they're going to run the ball all over Duke. If Elon can do it, you can do it. You showed me nothing unless Manny Diaz was pulling a quick one on me and did not show me, and they were just kind of playing around and be like, we kind of want him to run the football, and we're going to do shitty against Elon. I don't know. Brett Bielema and the boys are coming up there as big old linemen to clap some things.
No, I'm sticking with Duke, man. I think that they're going to surprise him.
What is going on right now? I am taking 2 Big Ten teams over the SEC or
not the SEC
teams.
Yes.
Okay. And I get labeled the homer, by the way. I get labeled the Big Ten
because
hater.
it's the one time that you do it and you spent the whole offseason shitting all over the Big Ten. That's why.
I mean, I'm Big Ten Blake.
That's not true. That's absolutely not true.
Ole Miss minus 10.5 versus Kentucky. Both of us think Ole Miss rolls here.
Dude, I know that I'm probably going to regret this, and I said it in the preview, but that Kentucky team's got no juice. That Kentucky team was scraping by in their first game against Toledo. Couldn't do anything. Not explosive. Calzada looked shaky. Give me Ole Miss to win by 2 scores or more.
I think that there's a path for Kentucky to cover here. I think there's a path. I like Austin Simmons a lot, and I think he's going to be really good. He threw 2 picks. And regardless of what we want to say about Kentucky, and regardless of what we want to say about how bad they are offensively, I think it's either one of 2 things. I don't think it's like a 10 to 14 point game. I think either Ole Miss is going to legitimately blow them out, like 40, 42 points, whatever it is. Or Austin Simmons is going to make some bad decisions like he did last week, and they start turning the ball over, and you keep giving the ball back to a team that can actually kind of run the ball. Joe, they gave up 191 yards on the ground last week to Georgia State. I think the first thing that I said is going to happen. Okay, I think they're going to get there. But man, it has the opportunity to go the exact way it did a season ago. It does.
I just find it so hard to believe that that's going to happen, though, because again,
I do too.
really
so I picked Ole Miss.
I think Kiffin is incredibly vindictive, and I think that he's going to put an extra little bit of mustard on this one.
I agree, but you know what? He's not the quarterback, and he's got to be the one to make decisions. And Austin Simmons had 2 really bad balls last week. Pause. But he did. He threw 2 picks.
He's got a chance to bounce back here.
He does. All right. See y'all on Sunday. What is week 2 going to bring? Boy, I'm excited. I hope you are too. See y'all then. Peace.